Hi folks, welcome back to the Hoard. So it's about 10:30. It is the 27th of December 2015, 46 degrees, 7.9 Celsius, 82% humidity. And yeah, I still have to fix that. My battery's not charged. What am I up to today? As for many people, Christmas time keeps you busy, catching up with friends and family and, cousins, distant acquaintances, all that kind of stuff. So, haven't had as much time to come out here and play, but I just wanted to show you guys, this is kind of a Christmas present I gave myself. It's a plasma cutter. I guess it's known as a Lotos, China crap. And I'm just kind of dragging it out of the box now to see what it is. They pre-wired it for 220. According to the book, it'll run on 110. Right here, right? All of our machines are either 110 or 220. So it'll work on 110. And I've mentioned trying to set up the Hoard so that it has a little bit more capabilities, a little more organized, getting everything moving forward. And one of the big deals for working on the kind of stuff I work on, especially if I try to get into more fabrication, one needs to be able to cut metal. And right now I'm pretty good at cutting metal in straight lines, right? One could use a grinder to do that, or one could use chop saw, so to speak. I have a metal cutting blade on my chop saw, right? Whether you go abrasive or you go the toothed ones that seem to be able to cut anything. So cutting metal is good, but getting around corners when you're cutting metal, getting around bends when you're cutting metal is also important. So I'm hoping that plasma cutter brings that ability. Right now, should I cut metal straight across to get around the bend, what I normally do is put a bunch of cuts into the bend, right? If I want it deep, and then shallower and shallower and shallower, and then I have a tendency to clear those cuts out and kind of run the grinding wheel back and forth to round it out. Very, very time consuming. It'd be much easier to just drag a plasma cutter around the bend and make the cuts that way. So hence the addition of the plasma cutter. When you're working with tools and you're trying to do things, a lot of times you start out with something simple like a 4-inch grinder, right? That gives you the ability to take long pieces of bed frame or big pieces of sheet metal and cut them to the size and shape you want. So that's obviously a step forward from nowhere to able to do something, right? Then the ability to weld, whether you're using a wire feed, which is back over here, flux core wire feed, or you start going up into metal inert, right? That's kind of a step forward, right? Arc welding is your welding, but there's a lot of heat and you got to be careful with the distortion and all that. For thicker metals, obviously arc welding is great, but as you get into the smaller stuff, the finer fabrication, you try to work your way, flux core, and then gas, and then eventually, up toward TIG welding, which do some really fine work with. So I'm kind of trying to bring my little world up to speed a little bit at a time as I'm trying to perfect my own personal abilities and be able to build better things, stuff that's cooler. Just quickly did the mouse check. Mr. Smart Mouse triggered that mouse trap again, and I didn't catch him, so I think I'm going to move the mouse trap. I'm going to move him around. I'm going to move that mouse trap toward there and take one of those hair trigger guys and bring it over here. Maybe I'll catch him with that. But other than getting those 2 mice over there, I haven't gotten any additional mice, and they haven't triggered any more traps, so that's kind of a big plus. I was kind of over here looking at things, the welder and all this other stuff. One of the things I really have to be careful of is like that propane cylinder. I think you guys could see it. Right, that propane cylinder that goes out to the tug, but it's got like a really tiny leak. The cylinder always smells like propane, so it's got a really fine leak. And as I'm welding and sparking and doing all kinds of crazy things, I have to be a little careful about that, because should I set that one off, as you go a little further down, what's that? Oh, another one. And that, oh, gasoline. So, and what's in that, and this, and this. So I have to I also have to remain cognizant that I gotta be a little careful here as I'm cutting and sparking and doing such things. Even if I load this up with hot metal, right? Just think of all the bad things I could do with that. So I think if I'm working on anything that's hopping and sparking and doing such things, I should really kind of get it out here into the air, get the sparks out onto the grass, and do things in an intelligent way, so that I don't end up with a visit from the fire department and a nasty letter from the insurance company. Right? Supposedly this place doesn't have electricity, but obviously I pulled an extension cord up here. If something bad happened, according to my zoning, I could pull an extension cord anywhere I want to. But I'm sure from an insurance company point of view, if they could come up with any excuse not to pay up, they'll do their best to come up with their excuse, right? Or to delay payment, or to torment me, or to pay me less, or whatever. Insurance companies aren't in the business to make sure you do good. Insurance companies are in the business to make sure they do good. Anyway, I'm rambling. I really like to thank you all for watching and commenting and subscribing. I hope everybody had really great holidays. Everybody did well, enjoyed themselves, stayed away from politics at the Thanksgiving or the Christmas table and all that, and just enjoyed each other's company. Folks, remember to keep your feet down, keep your head up, and please get out there and enjoy all your days. Make sure you have fun, because our time here is short. Take care now, folks. Bye.